You're listening to the Shared Security Podcast, exploring the trust you put in people, apps, and technology, with your host, Tom Eston. In episode 102 for January 6, 2020, details on the new California data privacy law, the Wyze data leak, and what is the ToTok app and could it be spying on you? Happy New Year and welcome to 2020. Now that it's the start of a new year, it's always a good time to get ourselves into good habits. And one of those habits is to take our digital privacy more seriously this year. And to start this new year off right, we have a giveaway going on right now where you can win a Silent Pocket Faraday Bag prize package. Visit sharedsecurity.net/contest for full details on the rules and how to enter. Don't delay as the contest ends on Saturday, January 11th. And while you're entering our contest, be sure to check out silentpocket.com to see their full product line of Faraday bags and other products built to protect your privacy. As a special offer for our podcast listeners, you can get 15% off your order right now by using discount code SharedSecurity at checkout. Welcome to the Shared Security Weekly Blaze podcast, where we update you on this week's most important cybersecurity and privacy news. These podcasts are published every Monday and are 15 minutes or less, quickly giving you news that you can use. A new data privacy law in California officially went into effect as of January 1st. The new law, called the California Consumer Privacy Act, or CCPA, is the first privacy law of its kind in the United States, which gives California residents certain privacy protections, which include the right to know what personal information is being collected about them, the right to access that data, the right to know who that data is being sold to, and the right to opt out of the selling of their personal data. Not only that, the law states that residents have the right to delete any personal data that has already been collected. One of the most significant changes is that companies need to provide a button or way to opt out with the message, "Do not sell my personal information," that needs to be displayed at the bottom of web pages. This is a very good step for being the first privacy law in the US, and many, including myself, hope that this law, while not perfect, is used as a model across other states that may be thinking about creating similar privacy laws. Now, one of the first questions many people have is, does this law apply to every business within California? Well, the answer depends, as it currently only applies to companies that have an annual gross revenue of more than 25 million, businesses that deal with the personal data of 50,000 or more consumers a year, or businesses that generate at least half of their revenue from selling personal data. The good news is that most big companies that fall into these categories are most likely going to extend these privacy protections to individuals across any state, since it's much more challenging to have a law apply to just residents of one state only. This is very similar to what we saw with GDPR in Europe, as many US companies extended privacy controls to all of their customers, not just those located in Europe. For more details on the CCPA and the privacy ramifications, I highly recommend you give a listen to our recent interview with Rebecca Harold, the privacy professor, who explains more about the impact of this law and her thoughts on what the effect might be on any company that collects personal information and what the future holds for privacy this year. And now a word from our sponsor, Wyze Networks. The biggest problem in security that remains unsolved are flat networks in cloud and data centers, with unprotected attack paths that allow threats to move laterally to cause data breaches. But microsegmentation using network addresses is complicated and takes too much time. But there's a better approach: Wyze Zero Trust Auto Segmentation. Wyze is impossibly simple microsegmentation, delivering results immediately with a security outcome that's proven provable. At the core of Edgewise auto segmentation is zero trust identity, which allows workloads to communicate only after their software identity has been verified. Malicious or unimproved software is no longer allowed to communicate. Identity-based protection provides more coverage with fewer policies to make Edgewise simple to deploy and manage. No changes to the application or network are required. One solution protects virtual machines and containers in the cloud and on-premises. To stop lateral threat movement and prevent breaches, visit edgewise.net for a demo and to see results within minutes. Popular smart device company Wyze disclosed a massive data leak exposing the personal data of over 2.4 million users. Cybersecurity firm 12 Security disclosed the breach to Wyze, stating that an entire Elasticsearch database was found completely unsecured, which contained email addresses, lists of cameras purchased, Wi-Fi SSIDs, and even health information, including height, weight, gender, bone density, and more. In addition, authentication tokens for paired Amazon Echo devices were also exposed. If you had created a Wyze account before December 26th of 2019, you have unfortunately become a victim of this data leak. Wyze disclosed the details about the incident on their support forum and also sent an email to those that have been affected. Now, I find two things interesting about this data leak. First, Wyze stated in a forum post that an internal employee was to blame because they had removed existing security protocols when they needed to use the database. And second, they also blamed the, quote, extremely fast growth of Wyze, in which they had initiated a business metrics project so that data was easier to search and query due to the growth of the company. Blaming an employee on a public forum and then blaming the reason to have the data in an unsecured, online, searchable database was due to the growth of the company? Not very good business practices in my opinion, but let's hope their management learns a lesson from this incident, and that is to make the security of their customer data the #1 priority. Have you heard of an app called ToTok? No? Well, neither did I until I saw the news that the app and its creators have been accused of being spies for the United Arab Emirates. Oh, and don't get ToTok confused with TikTok, as these are two totally different apps. So what is ToTok? ToTok is a video and text-based messaging app that's similar to WhatsApp. ToTok is actually so popular that it became one of the most downloaded social apps in the United States, but is primarily used in the Middle East. So what's the controversy? Well, the New York Times, along with US officials that conducted a classified investigation, concluded that the ToTok app is used by the UAE to track every conversation, movement, relationship, appointment, and video and image of everyone who installs it on their phones. The firm behind the development of the app, Breach Holding, is being called a front company that has affiliations with a firm called Dark Matter, which is a UAE-based cyber intelligence firm that has many known ties to the UAE government and is currently under investigation by the FBI for possible cybercrimes. Not only that, the New York Times stated that through the technical analysis of the app, they also determined that a company called Pax AI, which is a UAE-based data mining firm, is also tied back to, guess who, Dark Matter. Based on these allegations, Apple and Google have both removed ToTok from their app stores, while ToTok has denied any involvement with the UAE government or Dark Matter. The other thing you may find interesting is that while the app says you can send messages securely, it does not use end-to-end encryption like other popular messaging apps like WhatsApp or Signal. Oh, and ToTok is the only free messaging app that actually works in the UAE, as WhatsApp and others are either blocked or don't work on the UAE's government-controlled internet service providers. So the question is, should you use the ToTok app? In my opinion, I wouldn't. Look, the UAE is well known for tracking known political dissidents, human rights defenders, journalists, and other critics of their government. And having a free app that gives their own citizens complete freedom to send messages and videos under the guise of a secure messaging app is the perfect setup for a mass surveillance program. That's a wrap for this week's show. Visit our website, sharedsecurity.net, for previous episodes, links to our social media feeds, our YouTube channel, and to sign up for our email newsletter. First-time listener to the podcast? Please subscribe wherever you like to listen to podcasts. And if you like this episode, please share it with friends and colleagues. Thanks for listening, and see you next week for another episode of the Shared Security Weekly Blaze.